The next item that will be worked on in the building out of the Hairlocks website will be to use the configuration for the store items. Now I'm going to be going back and forth between the Bootstrap website examples and the actual website that I'm building out, more so to set things up and to get them going and whatnot. I'll also be utilizing some existing code that I do believe that I have that will accomplish this functionality from the almostengineer.com website, which is my personal blog. My name is Kenny. This is Tech Talk with RHT Services, and let's get started. All right, so this is the current site that we have. And what I want to do is to be able to set up the configuration where I can add products on the home page so that they can be listed like here, for example. All right, so what I want to do is to take the first one. So what I'm envisioning right now is that there will be a popular products section, and then there will be like a general products section. So for example, the popular products will probably utilize something like this pricing design. So you have like maybe the top 3 products that are set up in this manner. And then the remainder of the products could be set up similar to an album, kind of like this right here, where you have the thumbnail, some details about it, maybe even a header on the card itself, and then you have add to cart or something, or buy now, and then the price over here on the right, or something like that nature. All right, so let's go back one page. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the pricing example, and I already have this code, the examples at least, copied out of here. And so I want to take the pricing CSS. I'm going to go ahead and copy that, go over to my style CSS and add that in. I'm going to paste that there, make sure that none of the styles conflict, max width, so forth. I think we are good. And the HTML, so forth, I think we're good on that. All right, so let's format this really quickly. Format document. All right, save. Now, coming over to the index, I think I have all of that already, so we are good there. And then the 4, so we have the free, which would be the first one. All right, so we have a container, and then inside of that container, we have these 4 elements here. And I'm probably going to have to rename that container to accommodate the things that are going in said container. All right, so coming back to main, I'm going to, after the Jumbotron, we'll do the container for that. All right, so if we save that, come back over here, and let's see, do we have any issues with reloading the browser? It says it reloaded the browser. There we go. All right, and so we have our popular products, and so I'm going to come back over here. We're going to, inside of this container, going to do a h2 popular items and do that there. This should be automatically reloading. It is not for some reason. All right, so do a class of text center. All right, so documentation reloading. Oh, probably because it's thinking it's not. There we go. That's the problem. All right, so popular items. There we go. And then come down here and we'll do another h2 other products, and also format the document while I'm at it. Save. And that needs to be centered. So we'll do class text center. All right, so that's there. And then I'm going to put some sort of separator in between these two things. They may not necessarily even need to stay in a container, to be honest, because the main, I do believe the main actually is in a container. I could be wrong about that. So let's inspect really quickly, because what I want to do is be able to like alternate some of these sections of the site. All right, so the Jumbotron is up there, then this container. So main takes up the whole width. Good. All right, so then we'll do our popular items in the middle. We'll do our other products. Okay, and then those are inside a container. All right, so then what I can do is to take the popular items, put them inside of a div class bg dash peach, I think is what I named it. and then take that out of here after the popular items, put that there, save. We'll get rid of that bar for the moment. All right, and then so I need to come over to my style CSS because I don't think I renamed it. All right, so we're going to rename this peach, and then we'll name this brown. All right, and then that should do that. Okay, so our popular items. Ooh, that's pretty interesting of a highlight there. And then so the Jumbotron would technically not need to have this padding below it, and so I may do a so it has a display of 3. So let's see what the padding is on the Jumbotron. And actually this first section, come to think of it, may need to even not be the way it's set up right now. So I may do like a variation or something of how I got this. All right, so let's do format the file. We'll close that sidebar for the moment because I'm not going to be needing it as much. All right, so I put the div in the wrong place, so that's a problem. All right, so let's just Control D and duplicate that. Now that gets me what I was looking for, which was to highlight this particular section, and then the rest of the page can be done like that. Now I may change this. I actually am going to change this. There's no made to it. Going to change this to something different. Also, the Jumbotron needs to have, for the time being, a BG light background, and actually it probably needs to be white. All right, and so yeah, that is, while that is not exactly the same, and let's see if we can change, so the background, so I'm going to do a override .bg light, and then do background color of that with the £sign in front of it, format the document to make sure it's there, come back over here and do BG light. All right, and so then my Jumbotron, if it's maybe doing things correctly, it is not. Okay. So we'll copy this, and then the div class of container should not have that issue. The Jumbotron is the one that's controlling that. All right, so let's see where this differentiation in color is coming from. So the computed color, and if you never used the DevTools, is pretty helpful as a developer to know where the DevTools come from. All right, so that comes from background variant. Okay, that's not the CSS file that I have, or the CSS that I've added. All right, so coming back, style, I'm going to add the important here to overwrite. All right, so now we have the same thing all the way through. All right, so I just had to add the important over there so it would overwrite that. Next, popular items. Want to put some margin, I believe it's padding. So let's do some padding on the PY axis, and we'll do 3. And that'll move that down, maybe even go as far as 4 to highlight that. And I think I am going to change this background to something else. I'm not sure what at the moment, but it will be a different color. Because I think I want to use the peach color here at the top. And so what I want to do is to, so the peach color, so we have, let's see, free. All right, so free will then become, so I'm just making up names of hair products. So locks, and then enterprise would be, and actually I should not do this way. Okay, so this is where it gets into the setting up of the configuration, because really I only need one of these cards. So let's do comment from there. Actually, where's the last one of that one? All right, so that's the last one of that one. So we'll comment that, and then I'll also comment this. And if you're wondering why am I commenting instead of removing it, it's just a habit that I've learned. Now, mind you, I've been programming over 10 years at this point. And so one thing that I've learned from a previous developer that I worked with was that you comment everything out that you want to keep or may need to keep in the future. And then you come back and modify it accordingly. And then once you're good with everything, then you just delete what you've commented out. That way you have a reference point of something that you can go back to if you need to. All right, so now that I have that there, what I want to do is to have a loop that loops over each of these items. So we have a card deck, all right, and so then from the card deck, I need a for loop. So I'm going to space that out here and space that out there. Now, if I come back over to the Almost Engineer website, I believe there's a for in here. Yeah, so for item in okay, all right, so I see how I did that. So for we'll say product in config.theme.popular items parentheses, and then we'll come down here and do a percent end. I think it was end for, or is just end? Maybe it's just end. So no, it's end for parentheses and format. All right, and with these markdown tags or these Python, because really the mkdocs uses Python behind the scenes. So with these Python tags, it won't necessarily indent the way it should. And so that's, even though I do the formatting, as you just saw, it's still not doing that correctly. All right, so now that I have that there, if I come here, there should not be any popular items, which is correct. All right, so then I'm gonna come over here to my mkdocs file, and I'm going to add, under the theme section, I'm going to add popular items, colon, and then so for each item, and this is going to be like an array, so we'll have the heading of the item, and so the first one will be, we'll say weave, and then it will have a price, and so we'll say and I'll put this in quotes, although it may not necessarily need to be. So we'll do 24.99. I'm not sure how much weave costs, but we'll go with that. And then short, or just say description, and this is some black natural weave. All right, and then the link, which will, for right now, it'll go to itself, but in actuality, it would go to another site. So what I'm going to do here is to then, now we have to put these values in, these values here in over here. All right, so I'm going to do, remove that, do our double braces, and then we do product dot heading with the closing braces. I'm going to get rid of that H1. I'm going to put an H2 class card title, pricing card title, colon, quotation, and then we'll do open brace product price, closing brace. All right, and then so inside of this unordered list, I want to do we'll do a div, and that way it can be styled later as need be. So then we'll product dot description, and then down here at the bottom, I want to change that. This will actually be a link, which can be done that way. So href btn large, btn block, and then I don't need that on there, so that is not href. Actually, that should be class. And then for now, href equals product dot link, and then we'll do that, and then we'll also add another thing here called link text by now. So then we'll come back over here and do product link product dot link text. All right, save, make sure that actually does work, and it did reload. All right, so if we come back here, and now we have this right here, the link text Did I not? Oh, link underscore text. I did that incorrectly. All right, and so our popular items are there. Now, what I probably want to do is go ahead and add two other items here because it is taking up this whole container, if you can't see that there. And then by clicking it, it did, as you saw, the page did move, which means it's attempting to go to that next URL. By default, though, this would technically go to a different site. So, whoop, not that, let's do, so yeah. All right, so then we'll have weave on one line. We'll have hair clips on the next line. Those will be $2.99 each. These are used to hold the hair in a bun or ponytail. I don't know. All right, so we'll buy now. And then the weave, we'll change this to locks and we'll say those are $54.99. This is a pack of locks for the average sized head. I was saying, wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. And actually, we'll change this to dreadlock. Well, LOCS. It's not locks as in a door lock. All right, and so now we have our popular item section, and so that way if more items are needing to be added or if this needs to be replaced at some point or changed, you don't have to go into the HTML source code and make that change. Instead, you just come over here to the configuration and add or remove the items there. Now, in a similar regard, we're also going to have a listing of items down here at the bottom of the page. And I think I want to take the album as that type of thing to display. Now there is a product template. However, the product template does like full width type things. I'm not 100% sure if I want to use that as the selling thing to use. So I'm going to, for now, stick with the album. And so then we'll have thumbnail images here, the text of that here, there'll be a header here for like the headline of or the product name and so forth. All right, so let's go back to our thing here and then come back to our source code. All right, and so we'll jump to that other products section. And so what I'm going to do is for now, let's move this back over here, put that a little bit smaller. And then in the products, in the configuration, what I'm going to do is to say general items. All right, and then so we'll stick with the same type of values here and we'll copy 1, 2, 3 times, save. And then in the main.css, because I don't need that and I don't need that. In the main.html, not CSS, I need to add another section here. And so what I want to do is from the Bootstrap examples, I believe that was the album example. Yes, album example. So we'll come over here, we'll take the album CSS and it has its own Jumbotron. That's not what I want to copy. All right, so container, H1, last child, and so forth. All right, so probably I'm thinking don't need anything from here because the majority of the styling here is in the Jumbotron. What I do need though is the items down here at or near the bottom. So I need to copy album. Let's go back and check the CSS again because I don't see album in this particular CSS. Okay, I guess that's fine. All right, so we'll come over here, copy album background light. And we'll copy all of the album entries. So if we find the ending or the matching pair, which is a good way down, okay, so we'll copy that. Actually, you set the cursor there, and I know where it is at the beginning, right there. All right, so copy that, come over to main. I'm going to take this container, highlight it, comment it. Ah, come on. Okay, I think I know what's happening. All right, so it's taking this container element here and trying to include it in and say, hey, when you're uncommenting, you're uncommenting that. That's not quite the case. All right, so let's highlight that again, comment it out, paste in what we have, save, go back, and our page did reload. And now we have our other products which need some padding above the heading there, but we have our other products listed down here below. And then the next section, we'll do that accordingly. All right, so what I'm going to do is to find one of these. We're going to comment that out. And so I actually need to comment several of them out because the way this needs to work. All right, so that is our album container. And so I need this here, and then we'll separate that. And I'm going to put that there too. And so that way I have a single, whoops, what did I do? I didn't do that. All right, and so that way I have a single one of these cards here. And then the rest of them, where I come down here, comment out. All right, so now if I come back, I should have just one, and I do. All right, so right now I'm going to leave that thumbnail there because I don't have any images from the customer to actually put into that place. All right, so I'm going to do format, and this will realign things accordingly, as you just saw. Next, I want to take the, let's pull our configuration back over again. We'll slide that down because we don't need the whole thing stretched out just as that wide. All right, so the card text will now become the card body. So you want to do config general items dot heading. And then I only need one button. So for now, I'm going to comment, and then this button text will say buy now. And then that will link. Actually, that should be a link. All right, so let's take the classes off of this button. Copy that. Comment that. href will go to no target for the moment. Do a class, and buy now will be the text format to get rid of the extra space, and then the price will then go here. So we have the double braces, general items dot price goes there. All right, and then by now, the link, which is here. So actually we'll do general items dot, where is it? Link. And so I can put the link text in there, but I think I'm gonna leave it as is right now. And then so the title, aka placeholder, so this will be general, nope, I'm sorry, I'm missing something. I am missing the for loop. You could have told me I was missing the for loop. But if I didn't figure that out now, I would have found out once I got to the end and realized there would only been one item still showing. All right, so N4, and then so I want to, instead of popular items, it will be general items. All right, and so then in this case we'll still do product, so it'll still be product, and I believe that's it. Yes. All right, so then the product heading will go there, the product title, which will also be config product. Actually, it shouldn't be config, it should just be product dot heading. That goes there. Product heading, product price, and product link. Did I get all of them? Yes, I did. All right, and so then this one also has an image. And so for the image, I can do placeholder thumbnail. All right, and so then there will be another tag here that says image, and then that there. Now I'm not going to put that in there right now because I know that will not necessarily work. All right, so general items. Did I mistype general items? No. Okay. I got an error in my code, and let's see where we can serve for. No. The config has no thing called general items. Okay. Did I not put that at the right level? I think I did. Yes, I did. All right. So let's when you have an issue when you're in MK Docs and it tries to go and build it, if it runs into that issue, then it will throw the error that it just threw, which is basically the equivalent of it crashing. All right, so now we have each of our products here, and that is working correctly now. So next I want to list in the description. So let's come back to the examples. So the examples would, so here we will have the product heading. So actually I want to change this to description. And then up here, I want to do a div class card heading, I think is what it's called. And then there, product dot heading, and then that goes there. All right, and so this probably should be like a H2 instead of a div. All right, so that is a little bit bigger, and you also get a buy now. And then the price I would think you want it to be bigger, but the buy now is definitely what I want to be more visible. And now the other issue that I have here is the buttons. Let's move the other products up. All right, so the other products need some padding above it as soon as I can find that header. All right, so then that does not go inside, so that is not inside of a div. So let's do P, or actually do margin top, which is short for MT. MT is short for margin top. All right, so now that has some margin there. Let's see, text large, I think is, or there's some way to get larger text in here. I'm not sure how to do that. I'll have to look at that again in a moment. The hair clips. So let's change the titles here from an H2 to a H3. And you're probably asking, why not just use divs? And the reason being is because the search engines actually look at the titles and the headings on the page to determine how that page is structured. So if you're using H2s or H1s, you risk messing up your search engine results. So like there should only ever be a H1, which is the primary title of the page. And if I'm not mistaken, that H1 would be this hello world right here. Yes, so there's only one H1 on the entire page. You can have as many H2s and beyond as you need to, but typically H2s divide that main page up into smaller sections, and then the H3s then divide those things down even further to even subsections. That being said, let's go to the H2 that's here and change this to H3. Now, while it will change the size of things, it will also, behind the scenes though, is what you really want to make sure that that content is properly structured for search engines so that the website can be accurately displayed. All right, so I think I want to do a margin top of 2 between the buttons at the bottom of the page, and so that gives that text some room to breathe. I actually might want to go with a 3 on this, and so a little bit more room to breathe between that, and that. And this could potentially, I could stick an image in between this price here and the top here. This could also be converted over to a categories section. I'm not 100% sure at this point, and I may just end up, because I was looking at another hair website that had pretty much the same type of layout for all of the products on here, and so I'm thinking I may end up just taking this with a bigger buy now button and utilizing that. That said though, that will be everything for this video. Oh, I forgot, the last thing is to obviously remove the commented code that was put in from the templates, because last thing you want to do is leave that in here and then commit it only to have to come back in and delete it out. So let's go ahead and remove the commented sections out here. And so we'll do that one there. I'll leave that container comment there just because, but these other comments, yes, please be sure to remove the comments from your code that are not essential to that code running, or that is not essential to explaining some sort of functionality in your code. This is not specific to web development. This is just a concept in general, and what I consider to be a best practice, because of the fact people have sometimes difficulty reading the code without the comments, but sometimes you need those comments to explain. However, majority of the time, if your code is written in a what I consider to be a correct format, you don't have to put the comments in there to explain what it is doing. And let me go back to Visual Studio just to make sure this hasn't crashed, because if this crashes, it doesn't open the terminal back up. You just have to know that it crashed. All right. And I'm going to show you this configuration file once again. So under my theme, I have popular items, I have general items. These could be moved up, I believe. And so you would have config.whatever this is instead of having config.theme.popular items, for example. But normally, and I believe per the MKDocs documentation, if I can find it, maybe I closed it out. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it says you can, it does mention like there's other config values here, but typically if there's something specific to your theme, that you put it under that theme instead of up at a higher level. That said, that will wrap things up for this video. If you have any comments or questions about anything you've seen here, drop those down below. I'll be glad to give you an answer as best as I can. As always, please be sure to subscribe and follow. And thank you for watching.